to the Honourable Rebecca Chartrand to kick things off.
Great, thank you, Scott. Good morning, bonjour, Tanseanin, Wapanun, Quendishnakas, Wapashke Mangandu Dam, Pine Creek, Duck Bay, Bogarn, and Dunji. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. It really is a privilege to be here with partners who are shaping the next chapter of Manitoba's economic future. As the Member Parliament of Churchill, Kiwetanakaski, and Canada's Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs, this MOU is more than a document to me. It's a commitment to the people, the communities, and the region that I represent. Today, 3 of Manitoba's most important logistic leaders, the Arctic Gateway Group, the Winnipeg Authority, and Centreport Canada, are stepping forward with a clear message. Manitoba is ready to lead. Manitoba is ready to deliver. Manitoba is ready to compete. We're here because the world has changed. Global trade routes are shifting, supply chains are strained, and countries everywhere are scrambling to secure the most important logistic leaders, the Arctic Gateway Group, the Winnipeg Authority, and Centreport Canada, are stepping forward with a clear message. Manitoba is ready to lead. Manitoba is ready to deliver. Manitoba is ready to compete. We're here because the world has changed. Global trade routes are shifting, supply chains are strained, and countries everywhere are scrambling to secure reliable ways to move goods. Canada is not immune, and Manitoba has felt these pressures in agriculture, in critical minerals, and across the northern supply chain. But in moments like this, leadership matters, partnerships matter, and vision matters. And that's what this is. This MOU is important now. Industry, provinces, and the federal government all know the reality. Investments demand certainty. Supply chains demand reliability, and exporters demand options. Today's partnership delivers exactly that. Manitoba's unique combination of inland rail, air cargo, and Arctic tideway access, strengthened by world-class trucking and logistics, positions this province to anchor a stronger, more resilient Canadian economy. And this MOU integrates those assets into a single logistics ecosystem. Not 3 separate networks, but one powerful corridor capable of moving prairie products to global markets more efficiently and securely. This is not theoretical. This is practical, it's tangible, and it's urgent. It strengthens export routes for critical minerals, agriculture, manufacturing, and clean energy. Investment attractions across Manitoba logistics assets, northern supply chains reliability and affordability, and Canada's Arctic presence and sovereignty. Few provinces can say that, but Manitoba can. As Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs and as the MP for Churchill, a region that includes the Port of Churchill and the Hudson's Bay Rail Line, I know how essential this corridor is. Churchill is Canada's only northern rail line to Tidewater, and it's owned by 41 Indigenous and northern communities. That ownership is not symbolic. It's a model of economic reconciliation and a cornerstone of this project. So strengthening Churchill means more reliable northern resupply, better access for Nunavut and remote communities, greater Arctic mobility, a stronger national presence in the north. And with climate change extending the navigable season in Arctic waters, Canada must be ready. This MOU helps us get there. So this partnership also advances the vision of the Prairie Arctic Corridor, a national corridor connecting prairie strengths to global markets through northern tidewater. So today is more than a signing ceremony. It is an investment in reliability, a national corridor that is connecting and investing in competitiveness, and investment in the people and the communities who depend on these networks. So on behalf of Minister Olszewski and the Government of Canada, I want to congratulate the Arctic Gateway Group, the Winnipeg Authority, the Winnipeg Airport Authority, and Centreport Canada for your leadership. This is a collaboration at its best, industry-led, province-supported, and federally aligned, all working towards a stronger Manitoba and a more resilient Canada. Thank you.
Good morning, and I just want to thank all of you for being here. As we know, Manitoba sits at the center of the country, and now we're proposing to be the center of trade. Today's announcement and the signing of this MOU makes sure that Manitoba turns that into a huge advantage and turns it even more into action. The Ports of Manitoba project that brings together the Port of Churchill through AGG, Centerport Canada, Winnipeg Airports Authority is a first of its kind partnership that's supported by provincial and federal governments that better connect Manitoba to the global market through air, land, and sea. And what that means in practical terms is that it's closer coordination between our Arctic port, our inland part, and our air cargo network. What it means is easier access to services for businesses, better use of our foreign trade zone, and more resilient and reliable supply chains that help Manitoba companies reach global markets. And we're doing this with a clear focus on building up our north in a lasting way. And that's why we're doing this in combination and in concert with the federal government and with northern and indigenous communities to make sure that we don't just do this work, we do this work the right way. So we're proud of the owners and partners in support of this infrastructure work that creates jobs, that drives trade, and makes sure we have long-lasting growth in northern Manitoba and right across Manitoba. We're taking that same economic approach in the work that we do. So through the initiatives that we're announcing today, as well as the work that our government does in the creation of our Manitoba Crown Indigenous Corporation, we're supporting Indigenous equity and partnership in these major projects to ensure that the economic development success makes sure that there's shared decision-making in that and shared success. Manitoba's ports projects reflect that same mindset, that spirit of collaboration, of when we work together, we get more done across governments, across industries, across communities. And we're doing that with a clear focus on outcomes. So when our ports, our rail, our inland hub, our air cargo networks work together, Manitoba businesses succeed. They can reach new markets across the globe. And when it's time for us to step up and diversify our markets, we know that we've got strong partners to help Manitoba businesses get there, create jobs, grow investment, and strengthen Manitoba's role as a key trading gateway for Canada or the North. Remember, it's through the prairies and out to around the world. With that, I'll throw it over to Chris Hayes from the Winnipeg Airport Authority to hear his comments on the announcement today.
Thank you, Minister Moses, and good morning, everybody. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Government of Manitoba and the Government of Canada for their ongoing partnership in strengthening Canada's trade and transportation infrastructure. Today is about more than a new agreement between our respective organizations. It reflects a bigger shift happening in global trade. Around the world, governments and businesses are rethinking how supply chains are built, not just for speed and cost, but for resilience, diversification, and long-term reliability. In that environment, the traditional model, where airports, ports, and inland hubs have often been developed and planned and optimized in parallel rather than as fully integrated systems, is no longer good enough. What's needed is integration. Winnipeg-Richardson International Airport sits at the geographic center of North America. From here, goods can reach major markets globally within 48 hours. Our role is to provide reliable 24/7 connectivity as part of an integrated global trade system where each mode of transportation strengthens the others. We have been investing to strengthen that role including our new multi-tenant air cargo logistics facility and future-ready development lands. But infrastructure is not enough alone. The real opportunity lies in how major trade assets across the ecosystem work together. Arctic Gateway Group brings a unique northern trade capability to Canada's transportation system. Centerport brings one of North America's most advanced inland logistics platforms. When air, rail, road, and marine corridors are aligned, not fragmented, Canada becomes more competitive and more resilient. That is why this agreement matters. It's not about a single project or a single route. It's about building a more integrated and diversified trade network for a changing world. We are proud to be part of this partnership and look forward to turning this shared intent into practical economic outcomes over time. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to Chris Avery. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Nick, and good morning, everyone. I want to start by thanking Minister Moses for hosting us today, for his leadership and support. I also want to acknowledge Minister Olszewski and the team at Prairies Economic Development Canada, and of course, Minister Chartrand, Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs, and our Minister in Churchill. Their support across Western Canada and the North has been critical to helping us work together to strategically meet the moment for Canada. We're here today because the need for Canada to diversify and to grow our trade has never been more important. The world has changed. Global supply chains are shifting. Traditional relationships are under pressure. And the status quo is not an option. This is a moment that requires us to challenge old assumptions about trade and infrastructure and do more with speed and determination. Manitoba at the center of all this. Manitoba is at the center of this conversation, the geographical center of the country, but more importantly, the strategic center of what Canada needs to do next. This is because Manitoba is truly a maritime province. Through the Port of Churchill and the Hudson Bay Railway, Manitoba has direct access to its own maritime coast. When you combine that with the tremendous infrastructure at Centerport Canada, the Winnipeg Airport, you have something that's truly unique. Rail, road, air, and sea working together from the heart of the continent. This is where Arctic Gateway comes in. Arctic Gateway brings two nationally significant assets to the partnership, the Hudson Bay Railway and the Port of Churchill. Together they form the northern spine of Canada's trade and transportation system. The railway connects the vast resources in Western Canada north to tidewater and south to inland and air cargo hubs. The port provides direct access to global markets through Hudson Bay. Over the past several years, our focus at Arctic Gateway Group has been on rebuilding the infrastructure and trust. Over the past 2 years, we've successfully moved multiple shipments of critical minerals to Europe through the Port of Churchill. We've built up the railway to the best condition it's ever been, kept strong with modern technology and tools, and we're actively modernizing the port to meet the needs of Western industries. Together, we're unlocking Canada's Arctic trade corridors for the benefit of Canadians. What this MOU does is sends a clear signal to Manitobans and to Canadians that at our core, transportation and transportation assets, north, south, east, and west, we're working together in lockstep to meet the moment. Together, the Arctic Gateway Group, Centerport Canada, and Winnipeg Airport are committing to work together with the province and with Canada to take advantage of this infrastructure Manitoba has to offer. To diversify our trade, to strengthen energy and resource exports, to assert our sovereignty, and to advance Indigenous economic reconciliation. Canada can do big things. Manitoba can do big things. And with the partners here today, we're ready. And with that, I'll pass it over to my friend, Carly Edmondson, the President and CEO of Centerport Canada.
Thank you, Chris. I am very excited today to be here to show how we are linking Manitoba's trade and transportation assets to create a better and brighter future for our province and for Canada. Today's announcement is a collective effort and would not be possible without the incredible partners in trade you see behind me. Minister Chartrand, Minister Moses, Chris and Nick from Arctic Gateway Group and Winnipeg Airports Authority. For the last 16 years, Centerport Canada's 20,000-acre inland port has combined road, rail, and air infrastructure and services with shovel-ready industrial land to attract companies that want to build and move things faster, better, and cheaper. In the last 7 years, Centerport has seen over $1 billion in private sector investment, and there's over 1,000 companies located on site. This proves that trade-enabling infrastructure results in economic growth and opportunities, not just for Manitoba, but also for Canada. Now, Canada is at a pivotal inflection point when it comes to
Oops. Sorry guys, that was my bad. There you go.
All right, so at this time, we're going to perform a short Q&A with the federal and
We're doing the questions and answers and whatnot. Sorry for the little mess up and video. I accidentally hit something with a button that I shouldn't have. I hope you'll leave your comments and whatnot in the comment area. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. We'll be back with more. Have a good morning. Till then, bye-bye.